If you look in the region at Uganda, as an example, we had our currency depreciating against the dollar rapidly in January and February. Actually, February is when we had the biggest decline. And if you remember that time, one of the things we were saying was that offshores were exiting, going to the US and into other economies in search of higher yields, but especially the US. And if you recall, we increased the CBR rate in March by 50 basis points and in April by another 25 basis points. But by April, because of the move, that the policy move we made in March, there was some stability from offshores. The exits were slowing down, and in April they slowed down. And since April, we've actually seen the offshore investors coming back significantly. So our increase in our CBR helps to reduce the differential. To increase the difference between our interest rate with the US. So that helped. But the other major thing that has happened since that episode of depreciation we saw in January and February is the agricultural sector, and in particular, coffee. Coffee has been performing very well to the extent that by around March, we were exporting $85 million of coffee. By June, the figures that I saw from UCDA, we exported double that, $165 million. And this has been driven by two things. One, the quantities, because we are in the season, but two, the price also has been increasing. The price increased from around $2.9 in February. Right now, it's around $4. For June, it was $4. So the increase in the price and the increase in the quantities has helped to increase inflows. But also we had a lot of demand in the earlier part of the year. Demand for dollars is fairly stable across the year. Why? Because it's driven by manufacturing, who manufacture throughout the year, by telecoms, who provide same services throughout the year, by energy and oil companies, whose services are also fairly stable throughout the year. So their demand is very stable. Now in January, we had additional demand for those companies wanting to pay dividends, but also supply was not high. So we had low offshore inflows. We had agriculture had not yet set in, the coffee season hadn't set in. So the supply side is the one that usually is a bit volatile, driven by mainly agriculture. So now that coffee picked up, and we also managed to stem the issues with the offshore investors, that's why we are seeing that our shilling has been appreciating.